It always has like a delay anyway, so I think you should be okay.
All
right, there we go.
Sideways,
Nope.
you're sideways.
I'm fine.
I don't know, what did I do wrong?
Are you on your phone, Heather?
I am. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Should I have been on my computer?
No, you're fine. It's just that's why you have like a smaller frame. Let me add Harry here.
What if I
Five
split it?
people.
Hey, Harry,
No, now you're actually sideways. It doesn't matter. It's not going to self-rotate. You're fine.
Heather, you just had it for a second.
So the logical thing for me was to go.
Right? I'm sorry.
Heather, you had it. You just gotta turn it back to where you had it.
Wait, what? Like,
No.
the whole time?
Now you're upside down.
I know, all right?
There you go. Perfect.
No, see, she's sideways for me.
Really?
I don't know what I'm doing here. You guys like took me off. I was
I
like,
think
okay.
you're fine.
Okay, we're
To me, you look fine. Whoever's watching, leave a comment if everybody looks okay. We are trying. So here, hi. Let me kick this off. Hi, I'm Liz from Capricoast Books in Bel Air, Maryland. Got my shirt on. And I did a lot of deliveries today, so I'm a little bit wiped. But I definitely wanted to be here because we were talking about social media in our last week's conversation, and we just kept going. So I'm like, no, let's save this for another week. And we are trying out a new program called StreamYard. So we're simultaneously streaming to Facebook and YouTube. So if you are watching, all right. So Laura says, yay, Laura, you could see us. Laura says everyone's upright, and for now.
I'm gonna put that. Oh, I didn't do that.
So you're fine, Heather. Sorry, she's sideways for you, Brad.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know with that. It's weird.
So
It's my phone. I think I was so I knew like when you join Facebook Live, like you have to be at a certain angle when you do it, but I didn't know what this one does. I don't know.
we're all learning,
figuring it
and
out.
that has been like this whole I've just called it a learning experience for this whole pandemic. That's it's just learning new tools and like forcing us to try new things. So I found this program StreamYard from another bookstore of mine, friend of mine, Read It Again down in Georgia. And she's been using this since the beginning, and I was swearing by the BeLive program that we were using, but she showed me all these things that it can do. So like now we have everybody's name. Like we can see everybody's name with who they are. So that's kind of cool. There's a few other things that I haven't. Yeah, I haven't messed with. Like there's like overlays and stuff like that, but I haven't messed with that. You can see our background is our like kind of screen thing. But so yeah, we are trying this out. So I'm happy if you leave a comment. I'm really excited to see if it works on YouTube, just to see if anybody else joins us. Did you just change your background, Tim?
Yeah, it's got green screen on
Look
it.
at that!
Yeah, I was going to mess with that. I was actually doing that.
I love that. I haven't tried that yet. I'll have to check it out.
I am going to upload a different background.
I love it. I normally do my Zoom meetings with Pee-wee's Playhouse behind me.
Right.
Or I use one of my favorite YouTube shows is Good Mythical Morning, and they have like it's kind of I would call it a morning chat show, but they look like they're in like a wood paneled office. But I love them, and so you could sit at their desk. So joining us today, I'm going to go around from the bottom. We're going to go counterclockwise. Is Harry Carpenter?
Hello.
Brad W. Cox Esquire. Tim.
Hey.
You froze though. No, maybe. I feel like you froze a little bit, or you're lagging with your green screen.
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna go with none.
Okay.
Not nearly as powerful as the other one.
When we decided that we were gonna do social media for the topic, Tim was like, "Oh, we've got to reach out to Heather and see if she'll join us because she's killing it on social media." So we invited Heather, and I told her my only thing is please keep the Amazon word to a minimum.
I got you. Won't even mention it.
It's okay. I mean, it does come up. It came up a lot last week.
What happened? Where'd Tim go?
Oh no. He'll be back, I'm sure.
Okay.
This happens.
I'm honestly wondering if I can jump onto my computer real quick because I can barely see you guys.
Oh, sure. You can try that. I'm sure you can use the link while we wait. We can have a few more people
talking. I'll just switch off. But
I forgot to.
What do you guys do? So whoa, he's a Tiger King.
Oh, nice one, Harry. So what I was gonna say is I did not. So we normally kick off, Heather, by saying what we're drinking.
Okay.
So I will. Let me. start again to tell everybody too. This started because Brad was like, "Hey, let's do like a drunk history with authors,"
Right?
and it started with him. And the first time, there we go. The first time that we did it, now I'm gonna remove my logo because it's over Brad's face. But yeah, so the first time we did this, Brad ended up in a bathtub and it was 3 hours long, and it was just pretty crazy.
Good
It was
time.
all live stream.
What's that?
It was all live stream.
Yes, it was all live stream. Not the bathtub part,
Good
but it was
time.
a 3-hour live stream of us just talking. So, Brad, I don't know how to get this off of your face. I'm sorry.
It's all over my face.
It's either the StreamYard one. Oh, I can hide it. There we go. There we go. All right.
My vanity
So-
won't have that.
We normally talk about what we're drinking first. So I'll go first. I'm drinking palimpsest from Alecraft. And palimpsest has become one of our new favorite words at Alecraft. And it is because we have a book club and we were reading The Handmaid's Tale. And it's a word from that. Well, I mean, it's a word in general. But in there, it sparked us. And it means... The best way I know how to describe it is it's like the leftover memory. So in the Handmaid's Tale, it's the idea of this gym that they're forced to like live in, but she goes in and she's like, you can feel what it was, like you can feel that it was a gym, you can imagine that, you can hear the sounds of the basketballs being dribbled. So that the word that describes that is called palimpsest.
Wow.
So also, like when you have like a notepad and like you press really hard into it and you lift the second page, the impression left is the palimpsest. Like it's that memory. So I'm like, I love that. So they named a beer and dedicated it to the bookstore. So every time they have it, I have to drink it from Alecraft.
Oh, that's cool.
So what do you have this time, Tim? We're going to go counterclockwise again.
Yeah, so I have Firestone. There we go. There you go. Okay. Coconut, Merlin, milk stout.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to interrupt between Tim and Harry and add Sherry. Sherry's going to join us too. I'm sorry, I like threw her under the bus and like was like, hey, join us. We need more women.
There you go.
So now we have another Sherry Cook Woosley joining us. So we're talking about what we're drinking right now. We haven't really gotten started yet. All right, Harry, you
have
go.
a gin and tonic on order. It should be delivered to me from the downstairs bar in a moment.
Nice.
That sounds like a great idea.
Harry, what do you got? You're sitting at the bar. What you mixing up?
I am sitting at the bar. So I'm going to do two tonight, different ones. So I got action figures. I literally bought it for the name. It was like G.I. Joe looking, but it's from Reckless Ale Works out in Columbia. So I also got, again, I bought it for the name. I'm not an IPA fan whatsoever, but I'm going to do it just for the sake of what it is. That's Rye Baby.
Yes. I've seen
Rye
that
Baby
one.
by Union Craft. Not a
All right,
fan
what
of
you
the-
got, Brad?
but
I'm
yeah.
waiting for Bamboo Garden and whatever comes up from the fridge. So whatever gets here, gets here.
Nice. I love your is this an alpaca?
That is an alpaca, yes. He's joining us tonight.
All right, good. And Heather, what do you got? Have you got?
I have an IPA because I am an IPA fan, but I've actually never had this before. It's Molly's, and it was in my fridge because I have kids and I couldn't get to the store today. But it's all right. Our neighbor suggested it to us. My husband.
There you go.
grabbed
Cheers.
it. Oh, cheers.
Did you figure? I guess you didn't figure out the laptop.
No, I did, but the camera is actually really bad on my laptop, so we're going with it.
Okay, fair enough. So back to just so Sherry knows, I can see the comments. This is streaming live to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. This is a newer program, so we're kind of figuring it out. There might be some weird stuff that happens as we go.
Apparently, there's bathtubs and llamas. We're in this.
Bathtubs and
Like the
llamas
Tiger
and
King
bars.
showing up.
And we figured out you could do backgrounds with this program. Laura's drinking water as always.
Don't do the background though.
Yeah, backgrounds
Yeah.
might freeze you.
Yeah,
There might be some
Oh.
lagging.
Gotcha.
you don't want to do it unless you have a
So-
super powerful computer.
So the way that we normally do this is just kind of a free chat thing. For some reason I'm in the mood to go counterclockwise tonight, so that kind of puts you on the spot, Sherry. Depending on me, I guess I should say for me it's counterclockwise because you're right below me on my screen. But
Okay.
So we're just talking about social media and how we use it as authors. Well, not we, but I'm a bookstore, so I use social media, and I see what authors do and when they tag me and stuff like that. So I like all that. But just do you want to talk in general about how you use social media and tips and tricks and anything you want to say?
Tell us all you know.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm actually looking forward to hearing some tips and tricks from other people, because I am not the best at, I think that authors have to package themselves, right? You have to like give this impression of who you are so you can connect to your audience. And I'm just kind of all over the place. So it's really hard, In some ways I connect with people because I'm a mom. And so we talk about our kids. And other people, I do a lot with animal rescue, and so I connect with people in that way. But I actually have not figured out how to really present myself. So I'm actually really interested in what other people have to say.
So it's interesting because I also will say that I just did a workshop I think it was actually 2 weeks ago. Might have been right before our last call. That was all about social media. There was two. One was just a general social media one, and the other one that I did this week was about Instagram. And one of the things they said is, if you can make it personal, that is always helpful. And it doesn't have to be like extremely personal. You don't have to say like, "Here's my kids," and like say their names all the time or anything like that. You can just say, "My kid plays soccer." It can be kind of generic, but also still something that's going to connect you.
Yeah.
Oh, Davey's here. Davey and Laura have watched almost every one of these, so they're like great with comments. But Sherry, one thing that I wanted to say is you do a newsletter, and I know that you're pretty good at putting out your newsletter. So
that's true, and I do like the newsletter because, people want to hear about you because they've signed up. Like you don't feel so much like you're just broadcasting to people who don't care. Like for me, it's very freeing that people actually made the click. They put in their email address, and so I'm like, okay, they give a crap. Let me go ahead and present to them.
And you use that I feel like you use that for a little bit of everything. You do have some like little here's what I'm up to, here's what's coming up, and work thing. I should say writing things and non-writing things. So that's good.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, what have you got?
Before I say, is anybody else hearing Liz sounding like she's like in a stadium or something like that? Okay.
Oh yeah, like underwater.
There's a lot of echo feedback.
Underwater or like in a stadium. That's kind of what I was thinking of. But anyway, good to know that I'm not the only one. So anyway, what do I do? So I think I'm still kind of at the figuring it out. I went like a while back where I was consistently getting where I was posting. I've been mostly using Instagram at this point, and for a while I was getting like I would post something and almost like within that week I'd get like 4 or sales, and then it's dried up. I don't know why, but what I'm trying to do on Instagram is I try to like post stuff. I try to post stuff that's interesting, but more or less to my writing, and I've kind of read a little bit about that. Like, don't post too much about just your books. Make sure you show that you are a real human being and not just somebody trying to sell something. But then I put the flip side, which is you shouldn't just put your own life experience into it. I think it's to each his own, I suppose. But I'm still trying to figure it out. But I know that Twitter stinks when it comes to like anything. It's good for connecting with like-minded people, but I think that Instagram is a really awesome platform for connecting with an audience. I've seen people do stuff where they just blog their book, where they post like an image of a book in their review. So yeah, that's kind of, I'm still playing around with it. But it is fun to create cool graphics on Canva and post it to Instagram.
Well, I'll say that, sorry, I tried to fix my mic and I don't know what's happening, but hopefully it's going to be too bad. I tried to fix it, hopefully, and I'm muted in between. But what I would say is, one thing I'm going to say is I know that you're a teacher, so I know that requires some kind of, I don't know, like anonymity. Like you don't want to mix too much of your personal life out there in case you have
that. Sorry.
I know he's got that llama over there. Alpaca. But at the same time, I'm a visual person, so I love Instagram because it's just easy pictures for me, and that's information that I get right away. Versus, I mean, I like reading, obviously, but reading Twitter is just overwhelming because it's just so many little bits of information. It's not a solid thought, I feel like, where you kind of have to hunt down a conversation. So I know that I love Instagram, and I feel like that's, for me as a bookseller, I mean, that's exactly what I'm presenting to everybody is book covers, because that's what I'm like, that's the first thing that people are grabbing. So that's just as a bookseller why I know I use it more. And even Facebook, I really only post things. I don't ever just post text. I always post a picture with whatever I post. Harry, what have you got?
So I'm the opposite of Tim. So on the scale of what I use and what I don't use, Twitter and Facebook are my top tier. And then all the way down the bottom is Instagram, because I think it's great to showcase pictures, but the inability to like put a link in your comments or your post, that is where it shoots me in the foot. Because right now I'm doing, and Brad knows, I'm doing a book cover contest. Instagram would 100% be the place that I would try to grab people, because I can say, hey, look at this cover. Now go to this link. But I can't do that. I can just tell them to go to the link, and then on mobile, what do you got to do? You got to read it and paraphrase it. There's no copy paste from Instagram.
So
it's a little bit more complicated.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but what a lot of people do is, so you actually can install links in your bio on Instagram. And then when you do that, so like you post the thing, you say link in bio, everybody's used to going to the bio and like clicking the link from there to take you to where you need to go.
I just feel like it's an extra step over, here's my post, here's the link. Here's my post, I'll go call back to this.
And on top of that, actually, is there's a thing called Linktree, because you can only put one link in your bio. So you have a Linktree. So yes, that is maybe even 2 extra steps because they're going to your Linktree, but it's almost, a Linktree is a mini website that's very, very mobile friendly. So it's a whole list of all the different places they can find you. So it's your website, it's your all of your books. You can list each title. So it's very, very mobile. Like I said, friendly. So
it's just easier for me to.
But it's a click. So just saying on Instagram, if you need it, if you have to go that way.
I'm sure I've seen the link trees and all that, but it's just my order of interest from my personal end is. I started to really hammer out Twitter because Twitter really doesn't do anything for the fans. You don't garner a bunch of fans, and you're not going to get 10,000 book sales because you post it on Twitter. But what it does do is the algorithms on Twitter are superior to everything that exists. You can pop up on people's newsfeed for no particular reason other than you use the right hashtag. So in terms of actually spreading, Twitter does very good at that, but again, it's also very text-based, but you can use images. People just choose not to because old Twitter was just a little block of words, and then here's what I got to say, and tweet. But Facebook has been kind of my go-to because it's kind of that man in the middle. I can do the pictures, I can do the text, I can share links, I can post all kinds of stuff, and it's very just kind of right in the middle, but their algorithms really stink for trying to garner new fans unless you're willing to shell out some money. So I've been trying to find, I know CJ, when she was on a couple of weeks ago, was mentioning different author-based social media. So then you get into what I call the LinkedIn of books. You get Goodreads. That is a good social media platform that I have been trying to heavily utilize. Goodreads, allauthor.com, all these different ones are very proprietary. So your average Joe Blow probably doesn't trickle onto the site, but very avid readers somehow find them and they get into these. So I can probably gain a few fans by using these specialized services while still hammering out my Facebooks and MySpaces and Friendsters and everything else out there.
And that's another. Hopefully this mic is better. As I was switching, but I'll just say that's another thing about Instagram is the bookstagrammers. I feel like that's such a big thing right now. Is people who literally that's all they do is shoot these gorgeous pictures of book covers, and review them, of course. But they're the ones who are reviewing through like Goodreads and things like that. I'm gonna read some quick comments because Brad's still chewing. Okay. So Laura's drinking water. Davey's here to party. Isabella says, "Hi, Miss Sherry." Sherry's got a lot of fans. I'm glad you joined us. Laura says, "Yes, it's echoing a bit." Okay, hopefully this is a little better than the other headphones. Davey's eating pizza. He got the Hawaiian burger. Laura says, personally, I'm not a super fan of Instagram. I have it, but it's not my primary social media. Yes, I am old then. I'm a bit more of a Facebook person. I'm a talker, so I like to write, not just pictures. That's fair. Everybody's a little different. Jennifer Greenleaf. I'm sorry, I'm not going to try to pronounce that middle name. She says, beyond social media, I'm a super fan of Sherry's writing. All right, Brad, take it away.
Yeah, so I have a different spin on this. I would think of it in terms of branding, and whether you use the service or not, just put your name in as many different locations as possible. So have your TikTok account. Like most of us are a little bit older. We're not even thinking of TikTok. Okay.
I'm afraid of it. Yeah, I love watching videos, but
put your name everywhere. Like, my brain kind of thinks of this because of my years of marketing and advertising, but also because of the trademark thing. Like, I want to make sure that there's such a Brad Cox footprint that not only TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Goodreads, all there's LinkedIn. You got all those different pages. It's going to build up that SEO. So you are going to start popping up in different ads in different places that you maybe wouldn't have expected. So if somebody searches for children in the program, they are going to see an ad for you now all of a sudden. It's just having that presence and that footprint. So that's what I would kind of gear my marketing strategy toward the social media. Also, to have multiple pages, have an author page. Oh my God, I just lost my screen. Have an author page. Also have your book page. So there's just different ways. Like my author page would be just kind of me being me, and my book page would be just me marketing or promoting children of the program one or two. So that's nice.
And you bring just. I'm totally just telling what everybody does for a living here randomly, but like you said, you have a marketing branding background. This echo is even worse for me. I might have to unplug these too. Although my puppy is chewing on everything. She's driving me crazy right now. So Heather, I'll let you talk and then I'll bring it back around.
Well, I was going to say, I agree with everything Brad says, because that's basically what you're doing on social media is you're just creating a brand. Like, people don't, like, it's like with advertisements. Like, you don't buy a Bud Light just because you see the beer during the commercial, at the Super Bowl, but it sticks in your brain like they're a great company. And then the next time I want a beer, maybe I'll buy a Bud Light. It's the same thing with like social media. It's not that they're going to go buy your books right away, but they keep hearing your name. They see it, in different avenues and stuff. And then they're like, oh, like that's the next book I want to read whenever I do decide to buy it. But when we're talking about like the different platforms, the thing that I think that people don't realize is every platform has a different set of readers. So you have Instagram, which is a younger demographic. And then you have not even younger anymore. They were younger 5 years ago or whatever. And then Facebook has your demographic for a certain amount. Twitter, another thing. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting notifications. And then TikTok is like young. So I write YA, so I'm kind of like, I focus on TikTok and Instagram. Those are my two platforms. I don't know anything about Twitter. So, but I do well on my platforms because I'm targeting them towards my audience. Not targeting, but more interacting with my audience, like there, or my readers there. So that's where, so every platform is good in itself. It's just like which ones are going to work for your book, what you're doing, and like.
Yeah, and your campaign might be different depending on which, platform you're using.
I'm just kind of like me in all of them.
That's how I would be too.
But it works. I don't know.
So I will say we did, this is totally off topic. We did 30 book deliveries today and the dogs came with us and now she's got all this energy and she's like chewing my hand. So here's the dog. This is Marigold, our bookstore manager. So if you have any complaints, you can address them to her. And, that's what I've hashtagged her on social media. So hopefully she'll just keep chewing my hand.
Real quick before we go away with the hashtags,
Yeah.
we're talking about Twitter with the hashtags and everything. Instagram is actually really good with hashtags too.
Yeah.
The thing is, people follow hashtags on Instagram. So the Bookstagrammer, I literally started this like last year, and I have a team of 20, 30 Bookstagrammers that are all waiting for my next book so they can promote it on their site. And they take the most beautiful photos and they brag it up. They even have little blogs that increases SEO when they're, doing their blog write-ups of me like on their blog. So I don't know, it's kind of amazing like how fast that network can get formed on Instagram. So it's not something to just like disregard. Like, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like Instagram, but I really love it.
Well, and like you said, not just that, but the hashtags. That I'm very overwhelmed by hashtags, but I'm trying to get better at it. Someone was like, "You can." Hashtag overwhelmed. That's like my life. Oh my god. But like things like somebody said two things. One of the things that I learned recently was always geotag. If you can, because that you're going to get more people in your area. But I don't know how much that applies to authors, but it's geotags expose you to so much more.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah. So
on Instagram, or
you can kind of do it anywhere. So like if you're on Facebook, you can, you can like, I don't know at where you are, but you can say where you are.
Yeah. Do you know what
I mean? Like just and you can be very general. Just say Harford County, because someone's gonna click on that. It's just like a hashtag, but it's its own like subdivision of that, so to speak.
Or check into a local restaurant.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
bookstore.
Or bookstore.
Yeah.
Nice one. So I'm trying to get my husband to take the dog because she's like chewing my hand. But yeah, so I thought that was a really interesting thing. But even with the hashtags, you can have up to 30 hashtags on a post. I don't know. When I see that, it just seems overwhelming. It's got to be like equal to the amount of like actual text. Heather says no.
I don't actually do that, but so the thing is, like, people skim straight through the hashtags. They don't see the hashtags when you're doing it. And it's funny because I always put like sarcastic jokes in my hashtags. Like, they don't get anything just because it's fun. But so, like, you'll skim over it. Nobody's even seeing them, but like. And then you can actually do more in your comments. So you can comment on it and do more.
Yes.
So you don't have to actually put them in the original post. It just looks like a comment that can get
Hashtag puns.
So I have a list of about 30 or 40 hashtags I use regularly, only because I've looked at other people and I've like gathered them. I'm like, oh, that's related to my topic and so forth. And then at this point, I've just kind of like it did require a lot of research between like what I saw my the publisher doing and then what other people were doing. I was just like, okay, that relates. And using them, because I use all 30. I'm like, oh, but I only have, and then I realized that I have way too many, and I got to pick one out that's not as good maybe. But yeah, those are super powerful because of the fact that on Instagram people follow hashtags.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, when I was in Las Vegas, I started posting hashtags for Las Vegas on all my posts, obviously, and I started noticing I was getting 15 or 20 likes just from Americans in Las Vegas. So then, when I put out my CDs and my books, I started putting hashtag Las Vegas, hashtag New York, hashtag Memphis, whatever I was trying to like reach out to, and I actually got a lot.
And what's cool about Instagram too is that it tells you how many people are seeing your posts from just your followers, and then how many are seeing from your hashtags. And yeah, so anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
Lauren says my hashtags are always way too long. It's funny.
I do, like, especially my sarcastic ones. They go on for like a minute.
The other one that I think I don't like when they're all like lowercase. It's so dumb, but I feel like they're harder to read sometimes. So I make each word capitalized so it's easy to read. You like sometimes the words. I'm like, it's like reading license plates when you're trying to feel like, what is that license plate trying to say? Okay, good, thank you.
You have to camel case them 100%.
There we go.
Capitalization.
Camel case. I like that. I'm gonna hashtag everything now camel case.
Yeah. Hashtag camel case.
But I'm gonna do it for every letter. Go ahead. Sorry, Heather.
So all of you guys are against TikTok?
Mm.
No, I
Not against it.
Not against it, but who's on TikTok?
I watch a lot of TikToks, but that's about it. I've
I'm-
never done one yet.
I'm weirded I'm weirded out about it just because my students would be like, "You have a TikTok?" And I'm like,
Teachers are big on TikTok right now. They're so big.
maybe I'll try it. I'm not gonna do a dance on it though.
You should.
Why not?
Do it.
Do it.
That's the one thing I like about TikTok is I can be sarcastic and goofy as hell, and I'm like, that's my personality, so whatever.
No.
That's one of my favorite TikTokers. Is just this girl. You might have seen it about talking about this cactus. Like she bought a cactus at Walmart, and I started following her just from that because I just love her goofy personality. She doesn't sing or dance. It's just and it's all original content. She doesn't even like. I can't do like the lip syncing or anything like that. But even those are fun to follow. So I'm just too afraid to try it so far.
So like the thing on TikTok actually, which has been kind of cool lately. So marketing background. So that that's marketing, whatever. Anyway, so you want 80% of your content to actually not be about your books, like because you want. So what did they? I was trying to pull up the rule. I'd written this paper on this actually, like for one of my classes. But so the rule is like 80% is your original content. 5% is shameless self-promotion. The other 10% is like promoting somebody else. Like, and so you're not, because you don't want to overwhelm people with like, buy me, because nobody likes that, obviously. So I do the same thing on TikTok. It's like 2 videos that are goofy, 1 video of like, I'm holding my books and doing something goofy. And then everyone's like, oh, what's that book? And I've gotten a lot of readers off there. It's insane. Like, and TikTok's not just the younger demographic. Like you have like the moms or the 80s is a big movement there. Like you have, different users and stuff. And the thing was, and it was what they said, and I told you this before, Tim, was basically everybody had said, if you had jumped on Instagram in the beginning of it, like you were a major influencer now. TikTok will be the next thing because so many kids are into video now instead of like, the pictures or the text that we have set on Facebook. So you do the videos and then like in 5 years when this is big and these kids are old enough to like make purchases, like they've already seen you and you've developed this. So it's a long-term plan towards marketing. But
that's a good point.
Jump on TikTok. Just get on TikTok. Just do it. Do some stupid videos. Who cares?
So everyone's homework for next week is to
get on TikTok.
Make a TikTok.
Better see a lip sync video from Tim.
Yeah.
Right. No, Tim's got it made. Everybody loves the teacher videos. They're like, I miss my students and they're dancing. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
The point about like breaking up the different percentages of how you do posts is really important because like if you're always posting about your band or you're always posting about your book, it's what did they say in what's in the Bible? Don't exasperate your children. It gets to the point where when people see any post about your band, it's like, I don't care anymore. You're in a band, great. Or I don't care that you're an author, great. And that does happen.
Yeah.
So don't forget the importance of promoting other people. It can work both ways.
Definitely one of my back to like talking to you about the personal element. Those are definitely what by far my most liked post is like something about like here's my kid's artwork or like something silly like that. Yeah, mostly the dogs. They love her.
People love animals, and that's the thing is like I did for a little while. I was like my newsletter actually would go out, and I would introduce one of my cats. I have 3 cats, but I would kind of be like, and for no particular reason, this is Midnight. He has nothing to do with the books. He's just a cool cat, and you need to know about him.
I like that.
And like that was how I would do it in the newsletters. Well, I got somebody that responded back to my newsletter that said, "Can you please just stick to the serious facts? You have cat stuff, and I don't like that." And I was like, "Who are you? You're evil. You're a terrible person." Who doesn't like pet photos?
Well, I know, like, Sherry posts photos of, like, the horseback riding and talking about horseback riding and things like that. So I know that that's in your newsletter.
So your newsletters are both just your emails, right? Just real quick, sorry. You were just talking about your email list?
That was just the newsletter. Like, that was the last thing. After, here's the events I'm doing. Here's what I'm personally doing. Oh, by the way, here's this cat, by the way. Check him out. And then one person responded back and said, I would like to not hear about this cat. I want to hear more about the books. And I was like, I never thought I would live to see this day where they were like, take the cat pictures off the internet. This is unacceptable. The cat does not belong on the internet. This is not for cats. It was just a weird, like, I think it was just a fluke, but it was just so weird. Like, it was one person out of the entire mailing list. They didn't unsubscribe, so it wasn't enough to break the deal, but it was just so off-putting for somebody to be like, how dare you, in all caps, by the way. It was all caps, so I got yelled at about this cat. You need to remove the cat from your newsletter. It is not conducive to your writing. And tell me more about book. And I was like, okay.
Just
the
go
next
to the link.
newsletter, I was like, I'm going to bar.
Maybe Midnight wrote that to you.
Midnight. Yeah, exactly. Maybe the cat was like, I'm tired of being featured.
Yeah.
So you guys are really big on your newsletters. Those are your email lists. How did you build them? Did you do like the book funnels and everything? Yeah.
So I had a couple author friends who said that she just loved her newsletter. And she had gotten these, like, to me, crazy numbers of people who were subscribed to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like that, but I did from my blog. If you go to the blog, it says, click here if you'd like to subscribe to the newsletter. And then I just use MailChimp, and that just organizes it and sends it out. And I try to do it like once a month. I'm a little behind just because nothing's really been happening in my little self-isolation corner.
Yay.
But yeah, so I just use MailChimp.
Crazy. They did that.
Tim, what do you got there, buddy?
Same thing as last week.
Oh no.
So did you?
Oh, yeah.
He's stepping it up with the peanut butter.
Build it, or?
Yeah, right there.
I'm sorry, Heather, what?
Say that again.
Oh, I was asking, did you do like, so did you build it up like just organically, or did you do like freebies or something to build it?
I tried offering freebies and I just did not get the result that some other people have gotten. So I've heard it like works well, but for me, it turned to be more organic. And it was like Liz mentioned, like I'd say something funny about what my kids did, or I'd post pictures of my dog. Or I go down to Baltimore for Charm City Spec, which is a speculative reading series. And afterwards, I'd like promote events. I'd talk about conventions I'm going to. And so I just kind of like talk a little bit about everything. And so some people from here would add on, and I'd meet some people at Farpoint up at Hunt Valley. And then they would be like, oh yeah, I joined your newsletter. And so far, I don't have one particular thing that brought people to my newsletter.
So
it's just, as I meet them in person, like, oh, yeah,
the in-person signups have been the best way I've garnered people to sign up, because if I've done a book reading or a book signing, or whether it's a convention or whatever, those are the ones that actually sign up for my newsletter. And I always put out a paper. I don't know why people are like, computer, and they back away from like a tablet or something. But I'll do like a printed newsletter sign up. I'm like, I just need your first name and your email. If you want to put your last name, that's on you. But I will have 13 to 20 signups at the end of that event. So I'll do that versus if I post a link to my newsletter, I'm like, hey, sign up for my newsletter. I don't think I've gotten one click through my website, one click through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anything. But I have gotten all of them physically in person from somebody. I don't know if they just felt pressured when I was looking at them, but that I think is one of the better ways, because they can see you, they get to know you, and they say, I'd like to know more about you. Here's my name and email. I think that's one of the more successful ways. So I would say put a paper list to grow that. I just adopted MailChimp, so I also use I can't remember which one of these websites that I'm using, but it's a mail list exchange for authors. And I've been trying to find like maybe a sci-fi author that has like umpteen bajillion followers on their newsletter. And then here comes me. I'm like, I have 22. Please help me. And we will cross promote in our newsletters and say, hey, check out Harry Carpenter's latest sci-fi book. And then I'm doing the same thing. Check out Jimmy Schmidt's horror book, and we'll cross promote. And sometimes it results in people.
The story funnel or book funnel, I haven't done it. I have like 100% open rate on my whole 30 subscribers to my newsletter, but I've only been doing this for like a month. So like I started my newsletter. I'm so proud. But but they say the book funnel thing is like that. So you just upload a freebie, like a short story that's self-contained that leads to your series, and you get and that's what people do to get a bunch of followers. But yeah, I don't know. The ego list to me is like a little weird because I want like engagement. I want people to really want to be there.
I don't want to just funnel in like the stray numbers. Just I don't want the likes just for the likes.
Yeah. Because
there are a lot of people on Instagram and whatnot that are like, I have 10 billion followers. And it's like, and how many of them are A, bots?
Engaging. Yeah.
B, actually care about your product, your brand, you as a person? Or are they just clicking like because you had like a fun meme once? Yeah. That's my thing. But this one it's not all author because that's where I'm doing the book thingy from. I'm just trying to find the bookmark for.
Well, here's my question. So I know Sherry says she tries to send hers out once a month.
Same.
How often? Once a month? How about Heather? Well, you said you just started, so.
Oh, it's been. I've sent. Well, I have a. Well, it was like actually it's been like 2 months now. Now that I think about it, it's about 60 days. But so I have a freebie that goes out just because it's basically people sign up for my series, and so they want that free story, but then they want to know more, and they've always stayed on. Like I said, I have 100% click rate, so I'm fine with that. We'll take that. But yeah. So what was I saying though? Sorry, I got lost.
No, just saying how often.
Oh yeah. So it's once a month, if that. I have a new series coming out, so I was like, okay, like I just started posting like twice in the past week. But
so Laura said Brad needs a seal figurine, so of course he pulled one out because of course he's got a seal.
He really does. I hate being on my phone. I know he's moving stuff, but I can't see what it is.
Oh, he's got a little alpaca and a little baby white seal.
That's ridiculous.
Brad, do you use a newsletter?
I did in the very beginning, and then I kind of got lazy and stopped doing it. Yeah.
I feel like yours could be all encompassing because I feel like you could really like bridge both groups, the music people and the readers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we can all attest to this. It's been 2 years since the last book, and I've done so many of these different book signings and things. But I'm just kind of like, all right, people are over that. I need to have some new content before I start doing that. I don't want to wear people out either, So I don't know. I mean, I just kind of seem that lazy.
The thing that they do say, going back to the social media thing, is the newsletter is the only form of marketing that we can control versus social media. If something goes out like MySpace or something, then we don't have control of that marketing platform we had built anymore. But the newsletter, what is this one?
It's a cow. A cow eraser.
So, but your newsletter is the one thing that you have control of that won't probably ever go away unless we lose internet.
Right.
It's hard to control my Friendster.
It's funny because I have the newsletter that I use goes out twice a week, and I don't do anything. It's a industry newsletter that's branded. Like, luckily we have a great organization at Shelf Awareness, so I have it, and I can write editorials, and it'll I can add editorials to it. Every once in a while I do to like, hey, I'm doing pre-orders. Hey, here's a local book author signing. But it's so weird because I'm not a person who tends to read that many newsletters. I'm just lazy, and I subscribe to way too much stuff. I totally admit. But obviously I read enough because I see Sherry's. But that's why I asked the question about how often, because I'm not seeing it. It's not something that I'm getting like once a day. So when they told me that they send this newsletter like twice a week, I'm like, is that too much? But they came back to me right after. I would say I'd been using it for maybe 6 months, and they were like, you have an incredible open rate and click-through rate, and people are buying all this stuff. Like, they could give me all this data, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll just keep doing it. And people respond. They constantly ask me. They're like, oh, I saw it in your newsletter. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about because I don't read the newsletter that I send out. So I have to, like, go and figure out what I'm looking at. People have ordered all kinds of stuff from there, and I'm like, all right. So it's working really great for me, but it's definitely done it all automatically, which I appreciate. So I'm totally cheating. But like I said, they send it twice a week, which seems excessive, but it also seems to work. So
some people.
Tim, did you say you use a newsletter?
Excuse me, I do not. But the hybrid publisher I'm with does. And
okay, yeah, so that's a good example.
I talk to them, and they also publish. They also have a quarterly lit magazine that they publish. So short stories for free. Get right into that, and And then on top of that, they will publish an anthology from all those little short stories we've submitted, and
that's
they'll
cool.
do a once a year anthology for the little publishing house. I'm in a fun little indie group there that I'm with.
It seems really helpful.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like, I'm really so I guess the thing with me is that I want to do a newsletter. I want to have like a structured plan for when I post on Twitter or when I post on Instagram or when I like actually blog. Because there was a while where I was like, where I was before I actually started writing. I was just posting, I don't know, twice a week, some sort of thing that I did with a prompt. And I was like, I need to get back to that. Because then I would be constantly creating new content on my website, constantly being able to post something to Twitter or to Instagram. Plus, I would create the images on Canva. So I was
Do
doing
you
that
have
for a long
a
time.
sign-up link on your website for just anybody who jumps on there to sign up to your email list?
Just a contact. I don't do a specific.
Do the box that pops up real quick. That seems to work pretty well for me. Like people go to check out my website, and the minute they log on, they're like, "Okay, well, yeah, I was gonna sign up anyway." But the box is right in their face.
Yeah, that's I don't have a pop up.
What
Oh, I
kind
like
of
pop-ups.
are you using? What's the program you're using?
I use Mailchimp, and I actually have Wix. I just use my Wix website.
I have WordPress, and at the bottom, like when we were just building our bookstore and just starting to open, our coming soon page was just sign up for our newsletter, and that's how we got most of the people already for our newsletter. So that was like really quick. But even then, it's on our site now. It's just on the really bottom, but people still sign up for it. The other thing that I wanted to say was two things. I admit that I don't know. I don't follow like when's the best time to post, but you guys know that you can see that on like Instagram and stuff, right?
Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
Well, but
Some
people are.
For me, it's Tuesdays
Yeah,
at 7
okay.
p.m. So all my releases are Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
What did you say, Brad?
Well, Facebook's apparently Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 3 p.m. I don't know why it seems like a weird time, but
Now, is that just for you, or is that a general number?
no, that's like actual like doing research.
So
Yeah, I've heard that
the
too.
something that I learned that people were talking about is how that might be changing because people are home and they or working from home and they're checking their phone more because they're taking breaks in between. They might not have checked it in between. I've noticed that most of my traffic comes between Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I realized this morning that it's because Tuesdays are new book release days. So that's when people are on there and they see whatever I'm like, hey, look what came in today. And then Wednesdays, of course, the next day, they're like, oh my God, I forgot I missed Tuesdays. But I thought that was interesting. The other thing that I thought was really crazy, again, I don't necessarily care about, I mean, I do care, but about followers. I just I want to reach this cool number. Like, I want to say that I got 1,000 people every year or whatever. It was Thanksgiving week. It might have been Black Friday. I went and I just clicked invite all my friends. Because I mean, if they don't want it, they'll ignore it. I got over 1,000 likes in 24 hours. It was so overwhelmed and so excited. I mean, of course it doesn't matter, but at least more people were seeing my content and sharing it. So of course that got me really excited. And so I don't know if you all know about that feature. I'm trying to tell everybody, if you like anything, if you like anybody else, and you really, really, really want to recommend, obviously don't overdo it, but you can go to any page and invite all of your contacts to like that other page. So I'm sure you guys all received some friends. My pizza place. I love my pizza place. So I've been recommending that a lot. But yeah, so
sometimes it works both ways too. So if you're sharing hey, you should get into this pizza place. They have really good pizza. At the same time, they could make a post, local bookstore, Capricorn's Books.
Oh yeah.
Love our pizza. And then they'll tag your page and people go, what's a bookstore? And click it and maybe venture down that road. So it's very good cross promotion. I do the exact same thing with Irina's Crepes Cafe.
Yeah.
I love sharing their posts. They've been, and I hate that local businesses, especially restaurants, are super struggling right now. So when they do open, they open their floodgates for Friday through Sunday, just to try to make some money. But they're trying not to, expose themselves to the virus. They're doing everything they can to be safe, but also they need to make money. So I've been trying to promote. As soon as they announce, like, we're open today from 9 to 3, I will share that, even though it sounds random for an author to be like, hey, crepe shop nearby me, which you're probably not near, is open. It still spreads the message. And at the same time, they just love that stuff. And they will equally share, like, remember that time we had this author in here for a book reading? Go click his link and buy his book today.
Yeah, exactly.
It works both ways. And that's with Facebook in particular, but you can do that with Instagram. You can do that with Twitter. I don't know about TikTok, but probably.
Heather hit it hard. She just went and got a hard drink.
I did. I was like, you know what? This is a good thing about the phone. I'm not stuck to the desk.
Sherry, did you ever get a drink?
I was just going to say, I would like to point out that my drink has still not arrived from the downstairs bar, and the tip of the bartender is going down.
Okay, do not tip your bartender at all.
Like, twice through this.
Brad got food delivered and a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what platform has worked for you guys the best? What's your favorite platform out of all this?
Oh, easily Instagram for me, but I'm not an author. So.
I guess I can go. So the more, I guess it depends on what I'm going for. What is my end game? In terms of fan interaction, Facebook. I've had a lot more people that are just, they love the posts on Facebook. They follow that stuff more in terms of the fans. Now, if I'm trying to connect with local authors or national authors, or in some cases international, Twitter is where I've found, like, there's a big author network. It's a whole bunch of people like us that are just trying to get, break through that barrier and become, the next J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, whatever we're shooting for. We're all in that same boat. So people will, like, willingly share your post and cross-share it on Twitter. So it's a lot of, like, within the same industry sharing. So I'm not getting fans on Twitter that are like Joe Blow, who enjoyed my book, if he wants to follow me on Twitter. I'm getting, Jim Smith, author, and he's following me because he wants a follow back, and we're going to cross share our books, which is fine. But at the end of the day, that doesn't do anything because neither one of us are going to buy each other's book. Because my book is better than yours. No, my book is better than yours.
They're different.
And it becomes that. So it's great to kind of, pump up those numbers.
Back to that.
You get those posted.
Do you not buy other indie authors' books?
There's this guy named Brad W. Cox, Esquire, that I happen to have his children of the program. But no, I don't buy other authors' books ever. I do. It depends on if it's because a lot of the people that I've networked with, some of their books are just, I'm just, like, yeah, sure, we'll switch out. I'll like you, you like me, we'll call it a day. I've gotten into some of their books, and I know I've sent Liz a couple of, like, screenies of, like, hey, check out this book. And she's just like, oh, God. I know that the horror is just, like, setting in, where it's just like some of these people, I love that we do this because early on we were talking about formatting, storytelling, graphic design, like all of, like, the foundational stuff. And I feel like those people needed that stuff because there are some people that didn't even have, their lovely wives proofread the books or, anybody actually, like, give the book the green light before putting it on the internet for the world to see. So I feel like some of these people really could use resources like this. And those are a lot of the people that I interact with. And I try to push these videos. I'm like, hey, man, if you're struggling, check out these videos we do. Here's the link. We're not experts by any means, but we've at least learned what not to do the hard way. So we can tell you, don't do this. If you find out how to become a billionaire, by all means, tell me. But everything else, get your book proofread. Find a good cover that can grasp the, if I was to walk through a bookstore and look over and go, oh, shit, what is that? That's the book cover you need. And then, I know me and Brad were talking about doing audio books. Like, How do you go that route? How do you spread your sound? You know, your product. Those are the things that it's just like we've went through like the hurdles of getting to these points, and you just see all these new authors, and you don't realize, like, if you're part of a new author group, you're like, maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't belong here.
So here's
so
one random
Talent. I still think there's talent in there.
Yeah.
random tip.
Yeah.
So apparently you need to come out with like a trilogy or you know, a series, and then do. I know Brad's like, yeah, I've got the trilogy. I know. Everybody's. I know, but there's the punchline is you wait 10 years and then you release another one, because we've got Twilight, the fourth. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the fifth one. Well, it's not really the fifth. It's Edward's point of view. And then 2 weeks is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the fourth.
I'm excited. I'm about to go live. Hunger Games. Sorry.
Hunger Games, exactly. So yeah, exactly. Another prequel. So you've got like all these things, like these giant authors are doing like groups, and then like waiting 10 years and be like, okay, here's some more.
I don't know. I'm not interested in Heather Collins anymore. I'm just like, I don't really want to hear about him. The president, what? No, I don't.
No.
But me, I was like,
You're so indie. You're so indie.
I didn't feel like, it's funny because I feel like I almost feel like they didn't quite wait long enough. But I don't know. Like I have to say I've pre-sold a ton of copies. The other thing is now everybody's doing and this actually could go for anyone when you release a book of any kind, doing a pre-order special. And this is something that, I mean, indies don't do, because I know you guys, I mean, not you guys, but it's not necessarily affordable. But anybody who wants to order it ahead of time, a pin, like pins are like insanely popular right now, but they're really hard to ship. So that's kind of annoying. So pins, like enamel pins, like an enamel pin. So, enamel pins are like a button kind of thing. So those are really popular, but like I said, they're really difficult to ship with a book, and technically it like makes it not media mail anymore. Right. So booksellers have said, like, look, we really like doing these pre-order campaigns. Like, if you pre-ordered ahead of time, you get this special thing. And we've kind of pushed back and said, can you do something other than pins, please? Even a tote is easier, but bookmarks actually. So I can tell you guys that the thing that is coming for the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is a patch. It's like a patch is another big thing that is pretty popular that people are using. They're sewing it onto their bags and things like that, or totes. So patches are, that's just something to keep in mind when you're releasing a book, having something, because then that's advertising that people are walking away with, and then they have it when they don't have the book in their hand. So Davey said, yeah, it has to be eye-popping, talking about the cover. Oh, really quick, he made me think about something. So last week we were talking about, I don't remember what the topic was now. Imagery? Setting. And we were talking about places like realistic and everything. And Sherry, I'll have to say, this is why Sherry's here. Because we were talking, not just the newsletter, but I was talking about the scene that you had on the glass bridge of John Hopkins. And I'm like, you don't have to really intimately know that space. You could have driven under it 100 times and that's it, but you can still paint a picture and everybody knows it. And your cover is very eye-popping because it's the Baltimore skyline, so you know where it's set. So Davey asked, Brad, are you going to stop at a trilogy or go for a saga? Finish number 3 and then we can see if it'll go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And Laura says, I think there are many people out there who enjoy sharing and encouraging local people in whatever they are doing by liking or sharing their stuff, business, etc., even if it's not something they might read by choice. That's true. I'll share things, even if it's not necessarily something I'm interested in, as long as I think there might be somebody else who would find it interesting. I love sharing stuff.
Yeah, you share that pizza place, and I'm easily an hour and 20 minutes from that pizza place, and I'm like, hey, you guys, look at this pizza place that I live like an hour away from.
To be fair, they're a food truck. So they travel.
It's still up your direction primarily.
That's true.
Like they're based out of that area. So for me to share a Bel Air business or Harford County business is way out of my jurisdiction. But it's still a Maryland business. So that's why it falls under my umbrella. Yes.
The other one is the other one that I've been sharing a lot lately is Taharka Brothers ice cream. I think that's how you say it. It's an ice cream company based out of Baltimore, and you order one day. You can only order 8 pints, and it's $56. But they deliver it to you, but you get one day. So yesterday was our day to order, and they delivered it today, and we won't get it for another month, which is fine. And it's kind of expensive for ice cream, but it is amazing ice cream, like absolutely incredible.
8 pints.
I
That's a lot
know.
of ice cream.
Well, kind
Are you
of.
guys
I
all
mean,
in
not for a
Maryland?
month, but easily 2 weeks worth.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I hadn't finished our last batch, so it actually lasted us a month, which I'm very amazed by. But yes, Heather, we are all in Maryland. I realize none of us said that. I don't really ever directly say that, but yes, we're all in Maryland. We have had one Florida author join us
Florida
before.
woman. Florida
Yeah.
woman.
Florida
Throwing
woman.
alligators at people. And...
Yes. So she hasn't been able to join us
Alligators are cool.
again, but maybe next time, because I can have 6 people on here, so
Yeah,
it's cool.
this is
It's a
nice.
fun party every Friday. We do this every Friday. Oh, we're at an hour, so I know the first bunch was a bunch of chit chat just because we had some new authors. But does anybody have any closing thoughts on any of this?
I gotta go to a poker start.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Oh,
he's
you
going
gotta
to
go
play poker. He's going
Good
to play poker.
Win all the money.
Bye, Brad. Good luck.
Good luck.
Break a leg. I don't know what you say to poker people.
Win all the money.
Win all the money.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, is he winning money? Is it just for fun?
Is he just watching? I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's good he
But,
was here for a little bit.
Yeah, I would have to say, I know in defense of the TikTok statements, I guess it would be try to get into where you know your books will thrive. If your books are young adult, TikTok and Instagram are probably your home zones, or whatever the next thing that comes after TikTok. Maybe you should Twitch stream, play some Fortnite.
What is
and-
that? Okay, we're going too deep down that rabbit hole.
Oh, Twitch.
Go back.
Twitch is
Oh my
something I
God.
could totally do. 100% I could do Twitch. Easy.
We could. But
All right.
there are people that they will literally watch video games be played while these like personalities, they're super influential. People there's people that just tell me their names. They're like, oh, you don't know about X Ninja X? And I'm like, what is Wahaha? No, I literally do not know who that man is. Like, oh no, it's a chick. I'm like, I didn't know any of this. But these people, all they do is they play a video game, be it Call of Duty or Fortnite. I would just be playing something super boring. I would just be playing like Tetris and be like, hello, everyone, watch me play.
But
Authors
authors are starting to use it now. So I found out recently that I can't remember who it was. Now it's gonna drive me nuts. There was a it wasn't Suzanne Collins, but I'll use that for an example. So that level author who has a Twitch. So basically it's literally just a video kind of like this, but there's it's a whole screen of whatever game they're playing or video they're watching, and they're in the corner and live reacting. That's all it is a recording of
they're
them
just
live
playing-
reacting.
They're just sitting there playing the game, and they're just like, so anyway, I was walking my dog the other day. Oh, die. Okay, yeah, got you. And it's literally, it would just be me with a slew of F-bombs. That's why I can't do it.
And it's like stream of consciousness. It's literally just stream. It just they could be alone in a room. There's actually one that we watched that did a 24-hour live stream. So they did Twitch for 24 hours, and it was for fundraising.
Yeah, it was a charity one.
And that's what they do tons of charity ones, and that's what the author was doing. I'm sure it was for some charity thing. But they could be reading a chapter every hour, kind of like a telethon. I mean, that's another way to think of it. But it's usually just one person. But occasionally they might even add people on, like I have here, But absolutely, people watch it. They love it. That's the Twitch platform.
And that would be in that same vein of if you're trying to go for that TikTok demographic, 100%. People love to watch people do basic stuff. It's just me gardening, and people are just liking and following it for no reason. That is definitely the equivalent of Twitch.
Yep. So here's the thing. Seriously, try to set up a camera and just record you writing. It could literally, it doesn't even have to be what you're writing. They don't have to see your screen. They could just be looking at your keys and you typing. It's one of those weird ASMR things. People just like to watch it.
People
There you go.
like
She's got the
to
next
watch
big thing
weird stuff.
in
There's
other
a whole
media.
audience of people watching other people eat.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's weird.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
Very intriguing.
These things exist, but I would say I would gear your marketing. Like I think with what I write, I think Facebook is a good zone for where I'm at.
Do you do Facebook ads and everything, or I'm confused? 'Cause,
Yeah, like,
Facebook's
I
good for me, like joining groups. Like I connect with readers just talking, so it's not a big deal. But I don't know if like for sales, I don't see anything from Facebook. But it's
I don't
nice. I
really-
like it. I like to connect with people, but
like I think I just use Facebook because it's a good happy medium. It's not really cumbersome for me to post something. I don't need to come up with some witty like picture for Instagram or think of a bajillion hashtags for Twitter. I can just kind of post like what was it? I posted something. Oh, I just literally posted like I ordered a Mortal Kombat arcade, which is why I was almost late getting on here because I just finished building it. It's right next to me.
I wonder you're usually the first one here, and I was like, where is he?
But
is he gonna show it? Hold on.
But I literally wrote on there like, sorry, nothing really going on with the quarantine. But I did purchase a Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet. Mortal Kombat over Street Fighter any day. And I was literally like, I'm putting out there what my interests are and starting an argument because I want Street Fighter
That's
fans to
interaction.
come
That's
at me.
good interaction, though. Like, I have to say, I'm not good at that. Like, I don't like ask a question in my posts all the time to get that. That is one thing I'm not good at. Like, I love to give people information, but two things. One, Laura says my son, 24, watches some of those channels. He is also physically disabled, so video games are what he can do. So that's a great example of another reason that Twitch is a great thing, I think.
At first, I couldn't get into it because I got friends that will just watch like Markiplier.
Yes.
And I only know that name because I have like 3 friends that are just like deathly obsessed with this dude. And apparently, in terms of like, so you have online gamers that they arc. You either have like complete pieces of trash that they're racist, they're misogynistic, the whole shebang. And then on the other end of the spectrum, which I know it's mirrored, I should have done the other way, but then on the other end of the spectrum, you have people that are just wholesome and they're just like, just say the term adorable. They're just like,
yes,
they're
fun to watch.
Person. And that would be like Markiplier versus somebody like, what's the other dude's name? That PewDiePie or whatever? Am I saying that right? Like, he's just like really edgy and wants to just like attack everybody and everything and make as many enemies, and that's how he's gaining his fans, by being edgy and angsty. But then Markiplier is just this genuine Mr. Rogers-esque video gamer, and you're just like, he's so wholesome. And unfortunately that turns some people off, but obviously he has more followers because of that. Parents are more like, I like this guy, you may watch this guy. So it's like, if you get into this, like, you're doing the young adult stuff. If you were playing some like Xbox or PlayStation game, got into Twitch, and it was just you playing
Animal Crossing is the game of the day, sir. Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. If you got into Animal Crossing,
with social media, what we're experiencing that we've never experienced before is this access between reader and author. That it's new, and so it can work in your favor, or it can be like this puzzle where you're trying to figure out how to connect to the people who are going to enjoy your writing.
And that's a good point, is like, if it's not natural for you, and if it's too, like, I don't do Twitter, like, I just don't do it because it's just too hard, it's too difficult, and it overwhelms me, and I don't think I'd be good at it. I don't want to work on it if it's not going to be fun. I mean, I guess it could be beneficial, but if it's not going to be a natural, it's not going to work all around.
It's mostly just find what you're comfortable with, too.
Yeah.
Twitter,
just use the things that you're comfortable with and then run with those.
Networking is what Twitter is really good for.
That and LinkedIn, like
Liz, you could connect.
I think here's a LinkedIn thing. I have one, but I don't do that.
That way and see what they're doing. That's a good way to use Twitter.
I do. I follow a lot of authors because they write so much. I try to follow them, and I get notifications, but even then, like I said, it's just so overwhelming. 3 things. Brad is watching, and of course, he just plugged Amazon and not the website because it is on Caprico. www.capricosbooks.com. You can order signed copies. I have plenty in stock. But the other thing I want to say while Brad is watching is, does anybody, first of all, no pressure. You're welcome to join us next week if you want. Same time, well, I'll send you a new link. But do you guys have an idea for a topic that you want to talk about next week? So we didn't really like lead into one. Usually we like come up with one. We're like, hey, let's talk about this. While you think about it, not to put you on the spot.
So much more about that.
No pressure. Clock is ticking.
So I will say, Davey says I have a Twitch and a YouTube, and I watch Markiplier. I don't watch him regularly, but I do know who he is.
Yeah.
The Laura says we have even watched marble games, kind of like watching dominoes fall. Yes, I love me some dominoes falling videos on YouTube. Yeah, Brad,
David's got
exactly.
fighting words.
I'm calling you out, Brad.
David's got fighting
Davey
words
said
for you.
Davey said I think Resident Evil remake beats Animal Crossing any day. They're two different categories, so whatever.
What are your turn-up prices in Raccoon City there, Davey?
What are the radish prices or turnip prices, bro?
Yeah, what are the turn-up prices? I don't even play the game. I knew they were turn-up lists. You should be ashamed. That's my whole news feed, by the way. It's like, what's everybody's turnips at today? And I'm like, I understand it's like the basic crop. I've formulated the basic idea of Animal Crossing around posts.
You guys just gave me a brilliant idea. So
who
you
was
can
the celebrity that jumped in.
So in
It was,
Animal Crossing,
Frodo. I've drawn a blank on the name.
Yes.
Elijah
Oh my God.
Wood.
Yes.
He actually like invaded somebody's like random Animal Crossing farm and hung out with the friends and stuff. And he's like, "This is very lovely." And it's just like, you just had Frodo literally in your farm. What is happening right now? So,
but you gave me a great idea. Like, you can custom design like outfits and stuff. I need to start branding. I'm gonna put the bookstore brand on all kinds of like outfits and like send them to random people. And like, I'm gonna visit your island. I'm gonna drop a shirt here if you want to wear it. That's cool.
Africa shirts all day.
Shirts all day. Actually, that kind of loops around. I know we want to wrap up. I'm trying not to go too long today, but brainstorming process could be a good time. Okay, Davey is totally throwing one out there. Brainstorming process could be a good topic.
Like in terms of like what you want to write for a book, like
generally like outlining. Like some people outline, some people don't. My child is what I'm like fighting with my child now to learn how to outline her writing. She does not want to outline anything. She wants to just write it and think she's going to be done. Granted, she's
I don't.
But
yeah, I actually do that. I don't outline or anything.
Oh no, that would drive me nuts.
I would totally be up for that topic because I don't do outlines. I literally just go idea
at all.
I'm not a writer. That's why. Because I'd have like 90 million outlines and no actual writing done.
I think that could be a great topic to talk about, like our approach. What do we do before we begin writing?
Okay.
So, I was on a panel once that was, pantsing versus plotting.
Panther.
Yeah. So at the very beginning, we took a poll of the people watching, right, to see which one they thought was better. And then for the discussion, you try to like convince the audience that your way is best. And then at the end, you do another poll.
All right, we'll do that. All right, we'll do that. We'll share this. I'll make sure that we have this all set up. And again, this is live on Facebook and YouTube. Well, you can share either link. If you want to share the link, we'll get more people. Brad said plan. I don't want to get in. I don't want to get too far.
I could have told you that.
This is exactly. That's why it's taken like a year. And this is the thing is like we always get into this like when we're like we discover what the topic's going to be, we like keep talking about it. So I'm like no, save it for next week. But thank you guys so much for joining me. We don't always have a ton of viewers. It's always, I feel like, a lot of fun. I'm always rosy cheeked afterwards for my but it's always, I feel like it's always fun. Hey, I hope you get your drink.
I have to go downstairs and yell at my bartender.
Like, right? You never got your drink this entire time. I went upstairs and got
whiskey.
I might try this
next week.
Ooh.
What is that?
Sangria, real sangria.
It's been sitting here for like years.
That's like the good cheap stuff, I think.
Yeah, I picked up. This is a local distillery, by the way. This is Bullshine out of Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
They do several different kinds of whiskey. This one happens to be apple cinnamon. I also have this one called Seven Roots. Which
you talked about that last week.
Yeah, Well, it's the same people. I just decided to buy the industrial size bottle.
You guys realize that I need like a whole play-by-play on Maryland alcohol because I am a transplant here. I've been here for like a year and a half, and I had a baby and everything like while I was here, so I didn't get to drink for the last like 6 months, or well, until
We
the last 6
have
months.
a
So I don't know
list.
anything about this area. Like,
Me and I'll add Harry to our conversation, and now that we have an author train conversation, we'll talk about that all off camera because I don't want to like give too much away about where everybody's location is in case you get super famous and somebody finds us on YouTube and somebody hunts you down or something. I'm not trying to get into that.
I'm in Baltimore. That's what all my online stuff says.
I mean, obviously, I know you know where I am.
Well, we'll find
but I
your
have to say
bookstore.
where I am. I'm selling you books. You have to
Yeah,
order your
we'll
books
find
and
your
buy
bookstore.
from me. This is Capricos Books in Bel Air, Maryland. Buy all of these authors' books. Well, Heather, I got to get yours still, but I have everybody else's books on my shelves. I can get you signed copies. www.capricosbooks.com. Bye, Davey. Laura says another topic she wants. I love that we're getting audience topics now.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect one because we have our two most dedicated followers right now, Laura and Davey.
Dedicated followers. Well, does Laura follow me? That means that she's not dedicated to
I'm
everybody.
gonna head out. Thank
Bye.
you so much for
Enjoy.
including me.
Thank you so much. We really
Bye.
appreciate
Talking to you.
it. Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, we will see each other next week, 7 o'clock. I'll send you the link, and everybody have a great night.
See ya.
You too.
Bye.
I actually like this program. It's nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Let
We
me
can have
see. I'm
more
gonna
than
hit
just
end.
this.
I know, right? Can you guys? I'm gonna hit. I hit end. Oh, here we go. I gotta click.